do with that.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. A special Friday edition of LinkedIn Live Lunch Hour with Michael Goldberg. And I have got a great guest on tonight, whatever. I've got Brian Schulman. And for those of you who don't know Brian, let's just say he's the godfather of LinkedIn video content. Now, Brian, I am going to ask you to do a Marlon Brando impression later, so you got to be prepared for that.
All right.
You know, Brian has been doing video on LinkedIn probably as long as anybody has since he came to the platform, and he's a digital marketing strategist. He brings over 20 years of experience to the table. He has helped many clients get their video strategy and their digital marketing strategies down pat. And I'm just super excited to have you, Brian. Welcome to the Lunch Hour.
Thank you so much. It's fantastic to be here with you, Michael.
Absolutely. So, and by the way, you can catch Brian on Wednesdays and Saturdays in his big Voice Your Vibe. But I will warn you that if you do join on Saturday and you do go on his StreamYard, you will have to dance.
Saturday, you will dance.
Saturdays.
You will do some social distancing on LinkedIn Live. Yes, for Shout Out Saturday. Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So, again, I gave a high level overview. Why don't you tell everybody, that, and I'm sure most of the people watching probably know who you are, but kind of tell me or give us a good overview of your background. What was your passion to get on LinkedIn with video?
Yeah. Yes, I was dubbed a couple of years ago godfather of LinkedIn video, one of the world's top video marketing experts. I've been on the internet since it was green screen and chat rooms, sitting in my mom's lap, learning how to type. Yes, over 21 years of proven digital marketing experience, strategizing with our 500 and Fortune 500 brands across the globe. I'm a Forge featured entrepreneur, a LinkedIn top voice, founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe. I do serve on a number of boards, and I'm a trusted advisor and mentor to founders and companies across the globe. And in 2019, I was named a 2019 LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year, one of the world's pioneering top LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Live creators in the world. I do speaking internationally and through workshops and one-on-one mastery coaching, work with founders, C-suite execs and their teams who want to find their voice and voice their vibe and show up and don't know how to do just that and how to tell a story that people will fall in love with on LinkedIn through video, be it native or live.
I love it. And I'm just going to check here to make sure we are live. We are.
We're live.
We are live? Oh, thank God.
We are. You got it.
All right. Perfect. Hey, Carrie Eckberg, how are you? Nice to see you. And so I guess, right now, video is so uber important. And I know before the broadcast and we kicked in, we were talking a little bit why it's important, especially during now. So tell everybody kind of your thoughts and why video is so important, especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah, look, I think we're in the middle of a pandemic, right? And COVID-19 is taking the world literally by storm. And what it's done is it's sheltered us all in place. And we aren't able to leave our house. We aren't able to, at minimum, right? We aren't able to go have lunch with people or go to conferences or go see people speak at events or go network, right? All those things that we would normally do on a regular day basis, right? And they'll never be the same normal again. We haven't been able to do for at least 4 weeks, right? And we're looking at more time ahead. So showing up and being present digitally is more important now than ever, right? It doesn't matter who you are, what you do in business. You have to be seen and you have to be heard. And, you got to go where the people are. And, LinkedIn, when it comes to business, that's where the people are. You got 675 million business professionals, from the founder to the funder to the chairman to the janitor, and everybody in between. And 250 million that are quote unquote active, 1% that's creating content. I mean, now more than ever, it is the most organic platform on the planet. I would say TikTok is probably next. And
yeah,
like
but
I
not
said,
for business, right? You think for business?
No, although it's interesting. I mean, that's a story for another time.
Okay.
I think there's transition that's happening there. People are starting to show up there in different ways where it was just kids. But business, like LinkedIn is known as a predisposition to a business social networking platform.
Right.
If you think about all of them, they all kind of have those, right? Facebook is friends and family. Instagram is, hey, check me out. I've got an amazing life, whether it's true or not. TikTok normally for kids. YouTube is just a mutt. It's a mash of everybody. But some of those have morphed over time into more of a business vibe, right? But they didn't start that way. LinkedIn started as a business social networking platform, but when video launched, it broke the mold for the good. It changed everything. It became human with a heartbeat for the first time.
So I saw some comment where LinkedIn's going to allow you to start telling stories. I haven't seen that feature yet. Is that only being doled out to specific people right now, or what?
Yeah, good question. I saw our friend Judy Fox had mentioned something about that too, and there was some rumbles in the jungle about that a bit ago. Haven't seen anything yet. I mean, I've been privileged to have a lot of the beta functionality that's come out, like video and live and other functions of the platform, but I haven't seen anything yet, and I personally haven't heard anything other than just the whispers. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I'd really love to still see that video tab. I just don't know why we don't have it yet. But nudge, nudge, hint, hint, wink, wink. Somebody somewhere.
You got connections.
Yeah.
So you
many of us. Yeah, many of us do. But look, these things are not easy. It's not easy to create these things, and there's so much being done in the back end. I know by LinkedIn. So thank you, LinkedIn, for all that you give us and all that you do, because we love it.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't be able to have, gotten the word out the way I've been able to without, watching videos that you produce. Like, I remember when you first popped into my feed, I'm like, who is this guy? What's he do? And all I saw were positive things. And I really like that, because I think that's what the world wants right now. But I think also what I'm seeing is the world is still scared to put themselves out there. And I guess, everybody has their own advice. So I always like to ask, what is your advice for getting over that hump, besides just do it, just launch and do it?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Michael, because I was that totally terrified guy. Okay. I mean, it was, I didn't know what I was doing. I was the greenest greenhorn ever. I didn't even know there were apps that existed for this stuff a couple years ago. It was just a world that I wasn't in. Whenever I was pulling out my phone to record something, it was always my monkeys, my kids on the other side. I didn't have it facing me. So, I mean, when I say that I spent thousands and thousands of hours figuring this stuff out, I have. But the thing is like, I've purposely made almost 600 videos all with my phone. Just me, my phone. And what I try to help people understand is all you need is your phone, your smile, your laugh, your voice. That's it. Like, that's all you need. You can come up with every excuse under the sun. And again, I say it because that was me. It took me 5 months to muster up the courage and finally take the leap and make my very first video on LinkedIn towards the end of 2017. Now, we all have our fears, and honestly, look, all of those things that go on in our head, they literally are in our head. Nobody else cares the way we do. We're our own worst critic. So I think
ego.
it absolutely is, right? In my case, it was, what if my Tourette's come out, right? Because nobody in the world of business knew that about me in terms of my life. And that was with purpose. But once I made that first video and I took the leap, and all the love and support and encouragement that I saw, it changed. I always say LinkedIn has changed my life so many times over the last 16 and a half years, because I've been on the platform every day for almost 16 and a half years. And just in the last couple with video launching, It really did change everything, because it was the first time that I didn't look at being weird and different as a bad thing. Like literally all the way up until that point, that's the way that I perceived it in my head. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, I was a pound and a half miracle baby. I wasn't supposed to live. I grew up with a neurological disorder. I was weird and different, and I just wanted to blend in. But what I realized was, when I got on video on LinkedIn, was that I just needed to be me. And by being me, I was inspiring others by sharing my story. And the thing is, I didn't think I had a story. Like, to me, it was life. It was like, okay, adversity, bullying, all this stuff I dealt with growing up, being different and small and weird and all that. Like, to me, that was life. And I just keep going. I just keep getting up. No matter what happens, I'll just keep going. And why would anybody care about that? Why would they want to hear about that? And especially in business. And I say that just because I had done it once in my career in early days, where I talked about that story. I was going for, I'll just share this in context, I think it's important. I was going for a job early days of my career, and I didn't have much legs to stand on yet, didn't really have much experience. And it was during the dot boom era, and it was a big growing company in San Diego. And I went and interviewed, and I met with like 8 hiring managers and a bunch of different people in between in terms of people on the teams. And I figured, okay, well, I'll just tell my story, you know, because it's about tenacity and grit, and I can grow through anything. Just give me a shot, right? Everybody gets a shot. So I thought, well, maybe they'll give me a shot. And after every time I shared the story, they all said the same thing. Oh, that's a great story, but why should we hire you? And I walked out of that office with my head down on my tail between my legs, and I didn't get the job. And I said, I'm never going to talk about that again. And I didn't. Like, in the world of business, I didn't. I mean, I can count on one hand's number of times I'd ever talked about it at all, you know, but it was more a one-on-one thing if I thought it might help somebody some way. So when I got on video, and I was inspired to do that. I mean, I was inspired by Michaela Alexis and Swish, Manu Goswami, and Authentic Alex in London, because at the same time that video launched, so did the Let's Get Honest campaign. And it was the first time anything like this had happened. And it was just about getting real and raw and sharing something about you that nobody knew. And it inspired me because their stories, I mean, were incredible. You know, speech impediments and agoraphobia and so many other incredible, really from the heart stories, right? Some of them were really gut wrenching, and you're like, wow, this is really inspiring. And though I was inspired, again, it took me 5 months to take the leap. I did look back and go, I wish I didn't wait so long, right? And I think that happens to a lot of us in any first in life or business. So yes, just start. Yes, just take the leap. But I think the most important thing is just know that, one, you're not alone. Like, we're all here to support one another. We have all fostered that love, support, and encouragement, you know, and it's so important. And it's something you never would expect to see on a business social networking platform. But I think for those people that want to get into video, they want to get onto LinkedIn, and look, you need to be seen and you need to be heard. And LinkedIn is the place it needs to happen, especially right now. And if anybody has any questions, just in terms of video, right? Like, I mean, 80, and it's very skewed right now because we can't physically be present. We have to be digitally all present. But 85% of content consumed online is through video. Video helps you build brand awareness, either individually or as a brand. 95% of people use video to make product and purchasing, service and product purchasing decisions. And social video generates like 12x the shares of text and image combined. Right. So you got to do it. Okay, you know that. You know you need to show up. You got to do it. So how do you do it? So this, I mean, I'll share some tips. Okay, yep. So here's 5 tips to becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators. Okay, so tip number 1 is show up and be human. You'd probably sit there and go, okay, why wouldn't I do that anyway? Pull out your phone, flip it into selfie mode, hit record. It's not as easy as it sounds. Okay, I mean, I've worked with top 100 TEDx speakers and others that are used to speaking a lot, but you put them in front of the camera, just like me when I started. It's you turn 3 shades of white. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know who you are. Like, you're thinking these things. You're like, wait, what? I even questioned myself at some point where I was like, I don't know who I am on camera. Like, Why wouldn't you be just you, right? But that's the stuff that goes through your head.
Right.
So show up and be human is tip one, okay? And there's a way to get through, to grow through that. One of the things that I recommend for folks is not only, well, we'll get into that part, but is this: take out your phone and once a day, doesn't matter when it is, doesn't matter how long you do it for, it's the process and flow of the action. So take out your phone, flip it into selfie mode, smile first, like hear me in your head going, wait, smile, hit record, and then just spew. Whatever you've got, whatever you're feeling, if you're mad, you're sad, you're happy, you're glad, like whatever you're feeling, just talk to yourself. Now, if you have a hard time looking at yourself, turn your phone over this way and put a picture of somebody here that makes you feel comfortable. If it's Michael, if it's your dog, if it's me, if it's someone in your family, it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whoever, right? Put a picture of them here so you have someone to look at, and just imagine just having a conversation with them, right? And when you do that, there's two things that are going to happen. One is, if you do it, and I recommend you do it every day, just again, a conversation with yourself. If you do that, you're going to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. The action of taking out your phone, flipping it, hitting record, smiling, hitting record, having a conversation. And then once you go down to, starting to actually post those, right? The way you feel is going to start to evolve for the good. So that will help you in that whole show up and be human part. The other thing that's really cool about this process, think of it as a video diary, right? Is whenever you get into the next point where you feel stuck, uncomfortable, you can't, go watch that video and it will remind you that you can, because you're past it already. And you'll be able to potentially look at those videos later when you're not cringing and going, oh God, this is so weird. And maybe post those, because they will inspire others that are going through the same thing. Because that's the most important part, is remember, we all start from ground zero. We just start at different times. Because people say, I don't know, Brian, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it the way you do it. And that's why I created that article on my profile that says, this is LinkedIn video, which is the journey from the beginning. Because I want people to understand this was the beginning. You can see the transformation. And a lot of times we don't see that. We just see the final product, right? So it's important to see the journey so that people understand that we're all just human, and it's okay.
I love it. I love it. Well, and so with that thought, before you give out your other tips, I one of the things that I learned, I'm not now, but for most of the last 2 days and then in tomorrow, video marketing world's going on. And Fanny Dunnigan did a presentation, and she said, even show blooper reels of yourself. Yes. To show you're human. And I just love that, because you only see the finished product, but what if you did a blooper reel and just, put those together using either iMovie or Movavi, and you bring it all together, and people would get a kick out of that, because they'll hear you drop an S-bomb or try not to cuss, but just do different stuff, and be yourself. Because I think that's the key point is, you say you want to be like a Brian Schulman, or like Judy Fox, or Diana Nguyen. It's hard, because you're not going to be that. You bring your own individuality to your video product, right?
Yeah. And it's funny, because we all do that, by the way. Like we all look at one another and go, I want to be like this, especially when you're getting started. I did it, like, and you'll get to a point where you're like, well, wait, who am I? I'm not this person. I'm not that person, right? And when you realize that you're just you're you, right? You're you, be you, because it's you that people fall in love with. You hear personal branding all the time, right? And the reality is, you are the brand. You just have to show up. You're the brand. You don't have to overthink it. You just have to show up and be you. So, like I said, show up and be human. That's tip one. Tip two, and by the way, yes, 1,000,000% on the bloopers. Like I would highly, highly recommend, especially when you're getting started, you will feel like you're doing more takes than you've ever could have imagined are happening. Get cloud space and keep all of those outtakes, because they will make you laugh later. They will make other people laugh, and you got to laugh at yourself. And it is fun. And those are the best, by the way. Like I've integrated bloopers into, I've been doing my Shout Out Saturday series for over 104 weeks, and this Saturday, and I integrated bloopers into that. It's fun. I mean, it's important to share that kind of stuff. So tip 2 is engage and support. Okay, like if you know nothing about LinkedIn, you realize that it's all about the people. Every digital platform that every company creates, this digital playground, right? They bring you the digital playground, and we decide if we're going to go play. And it's all about the people, right? The people are what make every platform what it is, especially LinkedIn. So you want to build community and shine your light bright on others. That's when we talk about engaging and supporting. It's so incredibly important. Tip 3 is create. Right. So I want to say something, and many of you heard me say it so many times, and I will beat the drum until I can't breathe anymore. And it's this, especially when you're getting started, just like I felt, you do have a voice, and you have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life. Show up on video, share your stories. It's all about relatability. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she's like, my house is completely turned upside down, and my kids are home from college, and I haven't been able to get my hair colored, and this and that and whatever. And I'm like, everybody is going through the same thing during this pandemic right now. We're all sheltered in place. We're all quarantined. We're all growing beards. It's like we're all going through it. All you have to do is be you. Just show up. I'm like, put a baseball cap on. Like, it doesn't matter. Just show up, because everyone is feeling the same, going through, I say feeling the same. I mean, we're all feeling a little bit different, but in generality, we're all going through that same thing right now. And so the most important thing you can do is just show up and know that, talk about what you're interested in. Talk about what you're excited about. Talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about what you're scared about. I mean, look, we're all feeling that.
Absolutely.
You see me showing up. I'm positive all the time, but believe me, I'm going through an emotional roller coaster too.
We all
and we all are, exactly. And so I think it's important to just know that, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? And again, now more than ever, everyone is living out of their heart, beating out of their chest. Like, our chests are wide open right now. And we'll talk about that too with respect to business and how you should be showing up right now more than ever if you want to stay in business. So those are the things you would look at in terms of what to talk about. And in that tune too, I always say, just think about the number 5, right? I always talk about vibes, and your vibe attracts your tribe, and 5 vibes, and everyone has different vibes, right? Michael is a dad. Right. So he's a natural leader. He's going to be a dad his whole life. He doesn't get paid for it. And it's the most fulfilling and hardest thing in the world, right? Being a parent. Right. And it's an incredible gift. And he loves to read, and he loves video, and, he loves people. Like, there's a lot of things that he loves. Right. But pick 5. And those are your vibes. Those are your lanes of content, so to speak. OK. And you can run down any one of these that you want. But 5 gives you a frame, and it keeps you kind of in that and allows you to go, okay, great. I don't have to get all out of my head. And what am I going to talk about? And, oh, this is crazy. That gives you some guidance, right? Because again, like I said, human first, heart first. Okay. And then with native video, 60 seconds or less is your best friend. Okay. Everybody has 60 seconds.
That's right.
So, when you're scrolling through your feed, and now more than ever, you see more people popping up on video, what's going to get them to stop and watch your video? 60 seconds or less. You can see a lot in 60 seconds. But people have to fall in love with you before they're going to listen to what you have to say. So start there. Think about your vibes. Think about those things we talked about in what you can in creation. So that's tip 3. 2 more tips. Tip 4 is be consistent. Consistency is key to success. And
So what do
Yeah.
you mean
So
by that? How do you be consistent on whether you're doing video or just general posting?
yeah, so you want to create a content strategy in a calendar, whether it's in your phone or on your wall, old school, right? To create a level of consistency that works for you. And I say that works for you because my consistency is different than Michael's consistency, is different than Fanny's consistency and anybody else, right? You want to create a groove that works for you. If you go full tilt boogie and you're just like every single day, video, 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 you're going to get burnt out. And then you're going to want to take a break, and then you're going to come back and you're going to be at ground zero again, because that's what happens. Right. So if you ramp yourself up, as an example, find a groove that works for you, because when you show up consistently, your tribe knows when you're going to show up. Here's the example. You mentioned Shout Out Saturday and What's Good Wednesday. Now, I make videos, around all that stuff too, but those are two staples that have been staples for 104 weeks, rain or shine, no matter where I am in the world. And they're not about me. It's all about you guys, right? What's Good Wednesday is, let's talk about the good in your life, the good in your world, no matter what's going on, especially now, right? Mm-hmm. There's always a silver lining. There's always something good, something to be thankful for, right? And it's all about us coming together and sharing that. Shout Out Saturday is about giving gratitude to people that have made a positive impact in your life and have inspired you. Right. And that was me giving out love to all these amazing human beings I had conversations with during the week. I wanted to give them some love. We had such amazing conversations. I wanted them to know I appreciate them and their time. And people would show up in the comments. LinkedIn fam would show up and do the same for others. So those are examples of how, again, we talk about the importance of community, right? And how, as you shared, it's, especially during a pandemic, right? Coming together is more important now than ever. Yes, we are socially distant, but we are socially together, right? Through the amazing technology that exists, example, through LinkedIn. So when I talk about consistency, it's just find something that works for you. Maybe it's one video a week. It's one video a week every Wednesday at, 6:00. And you've set it.
Time. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's same bat time, same bat channel. The reason is because when you show up at a certain day and a certain time and you're consistent about that, your tribe knows when you're going to show up. A lot of times people ask, what's the best time to be posting videos or whatever? There is no best time, especially during this pandemic. Everybody's glued to their screens all the time, all over the world, right? So the best time is the time you choose. Choose a time, choose a day, be consistent, show up, and your tribe will know when you're going to show up. And then the last one, Michael, is collaborate. Absolutely. Incredible, like we're doing it right now, right? Incredible things happen when we come together. And I think the other thing is just, it's really important to remember that, and Simon Sinek said it really well, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Correct.
And I guess because we are in this pandemic, I think it's also important to remember this, just in translation. Your smile is now your logo. Okay, your personality is now the business card that you're handing people digitally, right? And how you leave other people feeling after that experience with you through the lens, that's your trademark. I think it's important to understand things like that, because it's hard sometimes to how and what and why and who and but Maya Angelou said it perfectly. She said, people may forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. It's all about the feels, right? The only thing missing through video, whether it's live or native, and native is just recording it and then uploading it, right? It's done. It's done and then it's done. Is that you can't physically touch the person and you can't smell the person because we don't have smell-o-vision yet, right? but the reality is you're working on it. Scratch and sniff your screen, like that could be really bad. I don't know. But like, you can touch people. You can touch them with your heart. I always say it's the heart of it all that matters. And when I mentioned earlier about businesses, we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, right? This is a crisis, and small businesses are falling left and right, closing their doors. Families, it completely disheveled. And our corner, my bakery, my pizza shop, my barber shop, right? We all associate those here. It's like they're family to us. And they're closing their doors, right? You can't walk out of your house on Saturday in your sweats and go get a pastry from your store down the street. And so, just on a side note, by the way, if any of you are small businesses and you're struggling and you're a brick and mortar and you have no online presence, there's a collective called Keep Small Strong that is literally has come together of some of the biggest and mid-size and small agencies in the world to provide services of standing up an online store, providing you marketing in terms of advertising, so many incredible things. And it's completely free. There are no strings attached.
Hashtag?
Yeah. So Keep Small Strong is the hashtag, but if you go to keepsmallstrong.org, you will find all the information. So whether you're a business that wants to help or whether you're a business that needs help, please go and check out Keep Small Strong. It's truly incredible movement that has come together just over the last month. I helped them launch the movement on my 100th episode of What's Good Wednesday live. I just was so drawn to it in what these amazing human beings were doing, and so many others that have helped in so many ways. Rhett Power did some live shows with them. He also wrote a feature on Thrive Global. Amy Blasker wrote a feature on Forbes. We want as many people to know and be aware about it as possible, so that you know that you can get help, and so that you know that you can help those that need it. But if you're a business, right, showing up is so important right now. It doesn't matter whether you're a C-suite exec, whether you're in sales, whether you're in customer service, whether you're an engineer, whether you're anything. You're a cook in the kitchen, you're in the back of the kitchen, you're in front of the kitchen, whatever. Showing up right now is so important, but not the way you ever have. I've spoke to so many companies and they say, what do we do right now? And I said, well, all that marketing, that whole plan you had put together that's taken you so long to get together and that you were ready to put into place, throw it in the trash because it's completely irrelevant. Right now, the most important thing you can do right now is come from your heart. You need to care about your people. You need to care about your customers, care about your prospects, care about your partners, care about anyone and everyone that is involved in some form or fashion to your business as a human with a heartbeat. And anything you can do to help them, and take the hit right now. Take the hit, because if you do that, you will have customers for life, employees for life, partners for life coming out of this when we eventually come out of this. But if you try and do business the way you have, I've gotten oodles of emails, COVID-19, this, that, and it's like they're operating the same way they have. It's just they're adding the words in with it, and it's such a turnoff. Like, we're all operating from here, guys. You need to operate from here. It's so important.
It is. And so I have a question about that. And you had mentioned, that we all have this open heart feeling right now toward one another. We're asking how their families are. We hope you're safe and healthy, blah, blah, blah. And I know that they mean it. A year from now, 2 years from now, does that still happen, or do we go back to old habits?
It needs to happen. Here's the thing, right? The universe has said, hey, world, you need to slow your roll. We've been trying to tell you for a long time, and you're not listening, so we're going to make you listen. And we have all had this blatant pause put upon us. And yes, people are dying, and yes, people are sick, and yes, it's completely disrupting all of our lives in so many ways, financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it, right?
Right.
I always say there's a silver lining, okay? In every negative, there is always a silver lining, and the silver lining is this: we're looking at technology in a way we hadn't before, truly in a way we hadn't before, because it is connecting us in a way that most people in the scheme of things didn't look at it like that. It was more, maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. Now they're like, I don't have another choice. I have to use it.
You're forced.
You're forced, right? I was just on a Zoom the other day with a bunch of friends for a 20th anniversary for a couple. And we toasted online, right? People are having double dates online. Some really creative stuff. It's actually very cool to see. And, every conversation that I have, it's like, we talk about this kind of stuff, and I'm closer to my family more than ever because we haven't had this kind of time. We're all running so fast, right? So I think it's something that has caused us to look at life and appreciate time in a much different way, because it's forcing us to do that. And yes, year 2, year 3, 5, this is something that we're going to look at And I've been talking about, heart first, human first, it's the heart of all that matters for years. And right now, I think people are starting to understand the importance of that. Because look, we're never going to have the same normal again. We're going to have a brand new normal. And people are going to have to adjust to being around one another again. And it's still going to be scary. And we're still going to have those things in our head that go, wait, but are we really out of this yet? Because we don't have a cure and whatever, right? So I guess the question you asked, Michael, is, are people going to go back to the way they were doing things? Sometimes it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, so to speak. I do think there's going to be people that no matter what happens, because again, we're seeing people still operate the same exact way. Businesses still operating the same exact way that they were before this pandemic.
Right.
It's not helping them. It's really hurting them. But if they shift that, and if they remember that going forward, right, this thing just happened. We didn't expect it to happen, which I think is a light to go off to say, you never know what's going to happen. And you got to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to change and pivot, because if you don't pivot, you're not going to exist. Forget the pandemic. In business, if you don't pivot when you need to pivot, your business is gone. So this is an example of a pivot that everyone has to take in some form or fashion, right? And it's important to remember that as we go forward, it's not like once there's a cure, which is being said like 12 to 18 months from now, once there's a cure, that doesn't mean that we're out of this thing.
No.
Because we don't just bounce back like that as human beings. We don't just, okay, everything's great again. It's a brand new day and this didn't happen. And no, it happened. It happened. You need to be aware of it. And you need to know that we are come together in a way that we never have before, and it needs to keep happening that way. That what you said, Michael, of hey, how's your family and how's your you need to be doing that all the time, not just because of a pandemic.
Correct.
Care about people as human beings. Like, people do business with people they like, know, and trust. Okay, it is. I mean, I've been in sales for over 20 years. Like, it's the human to human. When all things are equal, Michael, if you and I have the same businesses, from the outside looking in, everything looks the same. Why is someone going to do business with you versus me, or me versus you? Because of the connection that we make. I do have a degree in psychology, and I'm not going to get all psychobabble on you. But the thing is that by nature, we want to connect and we want to relate with other human beings. In the back of our head, we're always looking for that thing in a conversation. It's like, we did it. It's like, hey, oh, you're a dad? That's awesome. Wow, you're into music? That's great. Oh, hey, the holidays are coming up. Amazing. And that's why your best friends are your best friends. That's why the customers you love are the customers that you love, because you connect with each other. You're going to spend a lot of time together. So that's what when it all comes down to it, aside from, is it within our budget, and does it meet the need that we have? A lot of times you'll make a decision when it comes to buying something, a service or a product. Yeah, it meets the need, but even if it doesn't fully meet the need, if it's like a product or service as a company, you're going to be spending time with that person. That's more important to you, because you want to know you're going to get taken care of. So it's just, I can't stress enough. It's so important.
Yeah. So, the way I look at it is, unless there's some new technology that pushes us back to that go mode where we don't have time, and I don't think that there will be. I think technology companies are saying, all right, what can we do to create better connections to people, versus 5G, 4G, whatever the difference is. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But instead, I don't care about the G's. I don't want to be faster. I just want to be connected to people and to help them out.
Yes.
And that's where you and I share a lot of commonality here. And I think that the world will go back a little bit. There'll be the zebras that can't change their stripes, and then there'll be the zebras that can change their stripes. And I know I've gotten I had to pivot, And actually, when you and I last talked, I mean, I was trying to figure out, and I figured it out, and I go out, and my pivot right now is helping job seekers find their next jobs by creating a job strategy. And I don't charge outlandish prices like some people are doing. They're charging $4,000 or $5,000. I'm charging $500 for unlimited time and unlimited access to me. Why? Because I want to help people. And we do the same thing, right?
And it's a really good point, Michael, because it's like right now, be there to help.
Yep.
Be there to help people. Help as much as you can. I mean, I just was on with Morgan State University yesterday with a room, if you will, digitally full of students. And we spent 2 hours, almost 2 hours together. And it was just, how can they show up? How can they take advantage of a platform like LinkedIn and show up in the ways that they need to, because they can't, like they can't go to class. They can't see their classmates. They don't know how to interview and all these things, right? And helping them understand the power of this great place we all love that we're on right now, which is LinkedIn, right? And how to take advantage of being here and being human and showing up and creating relationships and building those. And it's just, again, now more than ever. I mean, if you are watching this live, if you're watching this on replay, show up, be human, show up and help people, reach out, ask people how they're doing, just truly care as a human being right now and do what you can to help. We talk about pivoting and those kind of things, right? I mean, like I've trained sales teams for years on how to use LinkedIn. And again, salespeople are the worst offenders. And I say that with love because I've come from that. And it's half their fault and half not, because they're getting beaten with a drum of more leads, more deals, next quarter, next number, next. Yeah, right. That's right. You're only as good as your last deal. And it's the importance of understanding that relationships are everything. They're everything. I don't care how many sales books you read. I've read them all and all the courses and all that. Like human first, guys, heart first, like care about people, because it's the relationships. And if you know that, and if you build those relationships and know there's no silver bullet, nothing happens overnight. There's no quick fix. Just know that this is work. You got to do the work. You got to show up. We talk about consistency. Consistency is the key. Like I've been showing up again every day for 16 and a half years. Ever since you could post, I've been posting no matter where I've been in the world. Like, and the most important part is to know your why. Your why is not I'm here to do business. Everybody's here to do business.
Yeah.
Your why has to be much deeper than that. It's got to be from here. My why has always been to inspire one person a day.
I love that.
Like have a why. Have a why, right? Dig deep in here and go, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose? I never went to LinkedIn to do business. I've generated so much opportunity over the years because I showed up. That's the point, right? Is I want you to understand the opportunities that can happen by showing up. I have family, like LinkedIn fam happened for a reason. Sunny Tanan and I created that hashtag, and we can't figure out which one. We always figure it out, but it's, what does it mean? Like, you feel that vibe. On a Shout Out Saturday, somebody showed up in the early days, and she was an Emmy Award-winning newscaster, and she said she happened to see Shout Out Saturday pop up, and she's like, wow, this is incredible. I've never seen so much love, support, and encouragement on any social platform ever. We got to keep this up. This is amazing. And she's right. She's right, because it is, we are a family, and you really feel that. I went to Australia last year for a keynote that got paid for by a brand, and all because I showed up. And it was sharing my journey about LinkedIn video and my life story. And I got to see LinkedIn fam that I've known for years, for like 2 years. And through video, we knew each other through video, and we got to meet in person. And it was like hug for days. We couldn't let go of each other. And this is what happens. You all know it. You feel it when you get together at LinkedIn Locals or wherever you just get together. It's real. We've created a culture at a company we don't work for. We don't get paid to do what we do. And it's the most amazing thing ever. We will look back years from now and go, wow, look at what we did together. You can't, like, it's priceless. It's truly priceless. And if you grab it by the horns and you truly understand that it will make your heart swell. It's real. It is so real. So real.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of shout outs, let's say hello to some folks here.
Yes.
Brian Catan, Damne, hello. Lindy Chapman, love ya. Misha, how are you? Carrie Eckberg, thank you so much for showing up. DT Kulkarni, how are you? She's one of our
Lindy.
Huh? What about Lindy?
Lindy says, Fanny, my kids said I could keep embarrassing them on LinkedIn, but I'm banned from TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok's a hole that I can't pull out of once I start watching because it's funny. It's great. But I'm not that funny.
Sucked in for hours.
That's right. Yeah, it is a very, very deep dark hole that you jump into. Brian Halverson, he was on his treadmill when he was listening to us. Hopefully he's still going. Diana Thompson McDonald, hello and good morning, afternoon. We had a lot of people, and this was a great conversation. The one final question I have is, when we do go back to whatever this new normal is, are we going to be able to hug or shake hands anymore, or is it just going to be, hey, how are you? Because I can't.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I'm going to have a hard time with that.
I know, I'm a hugger. Everybody that knows me knows that. It's like I hug everybody, and I agree. I think there's going to be this little thing in our head that's like, can we do that? But Lindy's saying she's got to run. She's on live herself. Bye, Lindy.
Lindy.
Hugs to you, Lindy. Yes, I think we will. And I think there's some people that will naturally they'll just go back to doing that because that's who they are. But I also do believe that it will be. I think it will be tough. It's even more so like, are people even going to shake hands? Right? Like that, because that any kind of that physical connection, right? Which you would do, business, nice to meet you. It may just be like, all right, let's high five in the air. Let's, do that. Yeah, right. The 6 foot, what's up from afar. It's going to be, look, like everything, it's going to be a transition, It really is. But like anything, it's going to be a transition. We're going to go through a transition and a transformation, just like we have been from normal, what we knew, to new normal now, to another new normal when we eventually come out of this. But I think, again, the most important thing, too, is to know all we can look at is right now. We get like when we used to look at planning. All right, let's look out the next couple of months, the next couple of years. Right? What's the 5-year plan? That's gone. You can't plan 5 years anymore. This is a perfect example of how something happened. We didn't know what was going to happen. It just dropped on us, and it has changed life forever.
We should have listened to Bill Gates 5 years ago. Did you hear about that?
I did.
He was on Goldberg. He was on Goldberg last night, and Goldberg asked him. He goes, "So you predicted this. What are you predicting next?" He goes, "Well, I think we need to start planning for a bioterrorist attack." And Colbert was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." And he's just like, "You're right. You can't have these 5-year plans anymore. You've got to have, it's literally going to be every 6 months." I think the new normal is you're just going to plan every 6 months.
Yeah, if that, right? Yeah. I mean, it's like,
right.
and I agree with you. I think it's going to be significantly shorter as your fur baby's barking in the background.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So, no, it's okay. I was on my friend Gabriel's show the other night, and he tells me his dog sleeps with him when he does his live show. And literally right at the end of his show, just starts going crazy and barking and barking and barking and barking. Was basically like, "Dad, it's time to feed me. I've been waiting this whole time." And and like all the way to the very end. It was the funniest thing ever.
It's a good thing.
But it is. Look, the new normal, right? I mean, come on. Like, right. I don't remember the last time my hair was this long. We're all going through so many things, and it's just we're all in our homes and we're growing through it together. And so I think if it leaves anybody with anything right now, actually, I have a couple things I want to share with people. I have a couple giveaways, just anybody that's watching, because I want to help as much as I can. So one is, if you're a newbie to LinkedIn and you're kind of like, what is this thing now? I don't get it. It's an engagement platform. My friend Rob Balasabas and I had put together a free 15-lesson LinkedIn Jumpstart Masterclass. It's filled with nuggets, again, for anybody that's again, whether you're a newbie or you've been around, and I'll share them in the comments. The other is, look, if you have questions about how to LinkedIn video for your business, whether it be native or live, you want to talk video strategy, I'll put my link for my Calendly in the comments. You can schedule some time with me. Again, completely free. Schedule some time with me. We can have a chat together, some consultation just about you and your business and some thoughts, right? Chewing the fat a little bit. And then the third one, just because it's coming up next week, is if you're thinking about, just since we're live right now, right? We both have live shows. If you're thinking about taking the leap into live streaming, leap into live streaming 3 free day boot camp from Ecamm, my friend Stephanie Liu, Katie Fox, a bunch of other incredible human beings. There are over 40 speakers over 3 days. It's completely free. It's incredible. It's across multiple platforms in terms of how to, what to, why to, all that great stuff. Tons of gold. My session is on LinkedIn Live, how video and live video on LinkedIn can amplify your reach and grow your business. It is on Thursday, the 30th at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'll provide you the link to reserve your seat. There's over 1,400 people that have signed up for the session, which blows my mind. But there's so much great stuff that is shared. So go, not just for me. I mean, if you're interested in LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Live, yes, but so many other incredible human beings that are speaking and just sharing so much gold. So check that out. And then I will say this, next Wednesday, which is the 29th, is International Dance Day. Uh-oh. And many of you might have seen the last couple years a video production that I put together with my partner in crime, Chris Mack. Much love to you. She always picked the songs. We did Justin Timberlake the first year. Last year was Sucker by the Jonas Brothers. And was thinking about what I wanted to do this year. And it just kind of hit me. And I said, you know what? Where we are right now, bringing us together as much as possible, because so many had asked, well, how can I be in the video in previous years? And so I decided I'm going to do the first ever International Dance Day live on LinkedIn. And you all can come and dance live with all of us on the show. It's going to be a very special edition of What's Good Wednesday live.
Put up with that link. Put those links in there, man.
Yeah, no, I will share all of that, because what I want you to do is click on the link for the post and then say I'm in. And if you are, I'll make sure you have the link to go live with us to jump into the green room on the show. So it is Wednesday, the 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, I will cache this on replay and put it all in there so that you've got it. But I'm excited. I just hope that's helpful. And yeah, that'll be lots of fun. That'll be lots of fun. And just think about that too, guys. Like, how can you bring people together right now? We're in the middle of a pandemic. How can you rally community and lift people up? Because that's what it's about. If you're at home and you're down in the dumps and you're having a hard time lifting yourself up, it's hard. I know. I've had the moments too. Reach out to somebody. Hop on a video chat, hop on the phone. Video chat's great just so you can see each other. You know, you can feel the vibes through the lens. Like, just reach out and tell someone you love them. Tell them, how are you doing? Ask somebody, how are you doing? It's such a powerful question.
Was that an AT&T ad? Reach out and touch someone?
Reach out and touch someone, yeah.
I love it. I mean, that and that's so true. I mean, I'll be honest, last Friday, I woke up and I just said, I'm unplugging. I don't feel it today. And I think you have to be great with that and okay with that, because no one's expecting you to be 100% in all of this, because there's so much unknown variables. I know that, and it lasted through probably Sunday evening, early Monday. And it really, by Wednesday mid-afternoon, I started pumping things back out. But it's okay to feel that. And that's happened twice in the last 5-6 weeks that we've been quarantined. And it's going to happen again. I know it is, but it's okay. And you have to be okay with it and feel ashamed, because there's lots of other people that won't even admit that they're dealing with up and down circumstances. Yeah, no, it's happened to me too. Like, I had a day where I had absolutely no energy. I was so drawn. I was so drawn out. I was at a bottom, and I think I slept most of the day, to be honest, because my body was basically saying, just stop. Like, don't try and do anything right now. You've got a raging headache, and I'm telling you, you need to just lay down and not do anything. And I did. And I did feel better the next day because of it. And I think we've got to listen to our
our bodies. Part of what I tell people is, push through. Like when you don't want to make a video, make it anyway, because you want to get used to doing that too, pushing through. But at the same time, again, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel anything you're feeling. It's okay to take a break. We're all growing through this in so many different ways. But I also want all of you to remember this again now more than ever as we kind of close the show up, right, Michael? Is that please remember what I said earlier and know that you do have a voice and that you do have a story and that you do matter, and that everything you're feeling and that you're growing through right now is relatable to at least one other person. That's the way I want you to try and think about it. Because it's not about the views, not about the likes, the reactions, all that. It's about engagement, but most importantly, it's about impact.
Being there is impact. Yep.
If there is only one person watching this show right now, Michael, okay, and we don't see any comments, and there's just one person that's watching, the fact that one person showed up and is watching, and if we're able to impact that person's life just in some way by this conversation that we're having together, right? That matters more than anything. Don't ever discount the impact of one human being affecting the life of another. There's nothing greater than that. Like, that's incredible. One human life is amazing, and impacting someone's life and having that connection, and it becomes a ripple effect because you impact, like, I impact Michael or Michael impacts me. And next thing you know, we're talking to someone else. Look at like what I was talking about, your dog barking, right? Gabriel's dog barking. It impacted me. Like, it was hilarious. I'm going to actually take a clip of it and turn it into a video because it was so funny, right?
How many people's dogs bark right in the background?
Yeah, right. But it impacted me. Like, I felt it. It made me laugh and I felt good. And I know other people are going through that too. It's like your kid opening the door if you're on the live or something. And it's real. It's real. So in
the middle of a sorry, finish your thought.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
It happened to me. I was on a live broadcast and one of my sons tripped over the cord that plugged the router in. And it went black. Just black. And you're just like, oh God, scrambling, freaking out. I'm like, well, what the hell? But we got it done. We got it done. Now I can't let you go without doing. If you're the godfather of LinkedIn, I gotta hear something. Come on, go.
You gotta voice your vibe.
That was terrible.
Voice your vibe.
Voice your vibe.
I'm the godfather.
You gotta put some marbles. I think he had marbles or something in there.
Yeah. Like paper in his mouth. I don't have anything like that around me, but
that's funny. Hey, you've been a fantastic guest as always. I wouldn't expect anything less, and I really appreciate it. Much love for you and your family. Hope you guys are doing great. And please, and I'm coming on tomorrow. If it's episode number 104, that means 2-year anniversary. Is that correct? There's 52 weeks in a year.
There is 52 weeks in a year.
So it must be if this is your 104th episode, happy 2nd anniversary. Who knew?
Look at that. Look at that. It's going to be incredible. Michael's going to come and dance because it's the 2-year. He's ready already. He's already getting his social distancing. Yep, he's got it. There it is. So thank you, Michael. So much love for you, my friend. I appreciate you sending all the good vibes and all you LinkedIn fam out there.
We look forward to your links too in the comments. So appreciate it.
Yes, you got it. No problem.
Right. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Everybody have a great weekend and voice your vibe.
That's it. Bye, guys.
All right.